Hey guys, this is Brent from Canis, and today we're going to be going over different types of training collars. Now, some of you guys may walk your dogs on harnesses. We'll talk about that in a different video of when it works, when it doesn't work. But if you have a dog who is lunging and pulling and reactive on walks, training collars will definitely be the answer and the solution for you. However, if you don't know how to use them properly, you can misuse them and accidentally hurt the dog or choke the dog. So these are not things that we want to do when working with training collars. So make sure that you guys consult with a professional on how to use those tools properly. Before we do that, let's introduce you to all the tools so you can figure out maybe which one might be the best for you and your dog. Okay, one of the very first tools that we have here, and this is actually one of the oldest dog training tools in history, is actually known as a slip lead. A long time ago, this used to be made out of a piece of bounded leather. Modern days, it's just a piece of rope with a loop at the very end. And you see this used a lot in dog shows. You see this used a lot at veterinary offices, at dog kennels, because it allows us to have a very easy, kind of slip on. If the dog pulls, it tightens. If the dog relaxes, it loosens up, just like this. If they pull, it tightens, and if it relaxes, so does the leash, okay? So a training collar is ultimately gonna be defined as anything that constricts around the dog's neck and then releases when the dog decides to back off of the pressure that they're applying themselves, okay? So this is called a slip lead. The metal version of this is known as a slip chain, also known in society as a choke chain. Unfortunately, has such a bad name, a lot of people stay away from this. This takes a certain type of technique in order for it to work effectively. Any dog trainer who uses training collars should be able to teach you how to use properly, okay? So this is a slip chain. The next one we have, this is actually called a martingale. It's half collar, half slip chain. And what this allows us to do, it allows us to, if the dog pulls, it also tightens around their neck. And if the dog relaxes, the collar itself will relax as well, okay? This collar was actually designed for dogs whose heads and necks were similar widths. For example, greyhounds, whippets, any dog with a very slender neck and a slender head. So that's what this was created for. All right, then we go into what we call head collars. This is called a halty. Now, halties are wonderful for preventing our dogs from lunging and pulling. If that is your goal, this is definitely a great tool for you guys to use. It just does take a little bit of conditioning to get the dog used to having something on their face. But if your dog is suffering from lack of focus or very impulsive or reactive, I wouldn't recommend this collar because it does not help us keep the dog's focus, okay? Unlike some of these other collars do. Now, very last collars we're gonna go over are probably some of the most controversial collars that exist. These two collars are pointed collars. This is called a prong collar, and this is a Star Mark Pro Trainer, which is a plastic prong collar ultimately. And these two collars get a lot of bad reputation just across the board in dog owners. You have people who love them and people who hate them. Now let's talk about why people hate them. Obviously, they have points on them. So it's very easy to interpret these tools to look like medieval torture devices. But ultimately, the reason for these collars to have points is actually so that way it actually prevents pulling on the dog's part. Okay, just like any tool here on this table, these tools require training and they require technique in order for them to work. These ones included. So these can actually be very effective on dogs who are extreme pullers and dogs who are very impulsive and reactive. Okay, so these are all the collars. Let's go ahead and talk about how we can best figure out which collar is going to be the best for our dog. Check it out. Hey guys, this is Christiana, one of our trainers here at Canis. And before we move on to kind of how we go ahead and assess which training collar is going to be the right one, first thing I want to do is I want to teach you guys how to engage the collars in general. Okay, so we're just going to use this little slip lead real quick. So here we go. Go ahead and hold on to that if you can, and go ahead and hold it close to your chest. Okay, so pretty much anytime we engage a leash, the wrong way to do it is we don't want tension to exist on the leash the whole time. So imagine if she was the dog and she starts pulling, go ahead and pull. This is not okay. Tension on the leash is not how we use training collars. The key is we want the leash to almost not be able to be perceived by the dog unless we're gonna give a little bit of a reminder or engage that collar, okay? So for the most part, the leash needs to be very loose and dangly. Okay, if the leash is loose and dangly, what this allows us to do, it allows us to very quickly, hold it tight to your chest, it allows us very quickly to give a tug and release. okay? Now what this motion does, it engages a training collar, okay? It engages a training collar so that it actually does what it's designed to do. So if I do it very quickly, it looks like this, right? I can do it at different variations of strength, so I can go soft, if that works. If the dog's more distracted, I might go a little harder. If the dog's very, very distracted, I might have to go a little bit harder. However, if we have to use an extensive amount of force to get our dog's attention around a distraction, it is possible that that might be the wrong training collar. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and show you guys how you can test which training collar is gonna be the most effective for you and your dog. This is our buddy Milo right here. We're gonna go ahead and do a little diagnostic test. Pretty much the way that the test works out is you're gonna put a distraction or something that the dog really likes in front of them, and we're gonna go ahead and see which tool is gonna be the most useful for preventing the dog from getting to the thing that they like. Because ultimately when we're outside, dogs want to sniff, they want to pull towards people, they want to pull towards dogs. So it's really important that we have a tool that is able to control our dogs in the most distracting environments. So this is the little test that we run. Milo, hi boy, hi. Right now Milo's just on a slip lead, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and ask Christiana to go ahead and engage the collar. Go ahead and engage the collar, perfect. And go ahead and let's try this. Go try and prevent Milo from coming any further than this line right here. Milo, hi boy. Good. So when she gives that little tap and release, it is working and getting the dog to stop. Now the second component that we're looking at from the collar is, does it teach the dog to do something different, okay? So for example, it's all right if the dog comes once, maybe twice, but is the dog coming a third or a fourth or a fifth time? If that's the case, it is potentially not the right tool for your dog. So let's try it out. Hi, hi Milo, hi. Good. So we see how now all of a sudden Milo doesn't care about me and is actually just hanging out right next to Christiana, all right? So this is ultimately what our goal is we want to find a tool that can motivate the dog to ignore certain things, so that we can have them put their focus on other things. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next dog. Check it out. All right, so now we got our second dog. This is Annabelle. She is a 1-year-old Vizsla who's a little bit more energetic, a little bit more distracted and impulsive. So we're gonna go ahead and use the exact same tool we were using on little Milo. Go ahead and do me a favor. Proper technique is we would actually take this slip lead and we'd actually put it as high above the dog, right behind the dog's ears, as close and high as we possibly can. There you go, perfect. So this is proper placement of a slip lead. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna run the exact same diagnostic to see how the dog does. Hi, Annabelle. Hi, Annabelle. Hello. Hi, Annabelle. Hi, baby. Hi. So she is learning a little bit to control herself, but let's see if we give it a pause, if she will still remember. So let's see. Annabelle. Hi, mama. Oh, yes. Hi, baby. Good. So in this scenario, we actually see that the slip lead is also working for Annabelle. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next dog. Alrighty, guys. Now we have our boy Franklin over here. He is a 10-month-old Doberman. We're gonna go ahead and try this out. He really likes certain types of toys, tennis balls, he likes squeakers. Remember, the key to finding the right training tool is making sure that we find a tool that allows us to get the dog's attention in the highest form of distraction, okay? So let's go ahead and try it out. Franklin, hi boy. Hi, hi boy. Hi boy. Hi boy. Okay, so we're gonna try this one more time. Hi Franklin, hi. So you see how Franklin keeps making the same mistake over and over? So this tells us now that we've had to do it too many times, we've had to do too many repetitions, and the dog is still fixated on getting whatever's in front of him. So let's go ahead and switch out to a different type of training collar. Let's go ahead and try, for a big dog like him, maybe let's go ahead and try a prong collar. Let's get a baby prong and let's just put it high on his ears for us. So now we have Franklin on a 2.25 millimeter pinch collar, okay? Now, this is a smaller version of the collar. We use the smaller versions just so that way we can get a better fit around the dog's neck. It's also more low profile. And so we're gonna see how the dog responds to this. Now, I'm using food as an ultimate distraction, but we wanna see if we can actually get the dog's attention and teach the dog not to pull against the end of the leash with this type of tool. So let's go ahead and try it out. Back up just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna tease him a little bit. Hi, boy. Good. And just with a little bit of an engagement. Hi, boy. What's that? Hi. You want some of this? So now here's an interesting thing. Notice how Franklin is actually second guessing, pulling towards me again. This is actually the result of an effective choice of a training collar. Now, we saw this again with Milo, with the slip lead. We saw it also with the Vizsla. And now we started seeing a dog like him, who's a little bit stronger, a little bit more impulsive, actually is benefiting from the use of a pinch collar, right? Now, these collars get a bad rep, as we talked about earlier, but in situations like this, they can be amazing, amazing training tools to make sure that we can communicate to our dogs that we want them to stop doing something. Cool, guys, let's move on. All right, now we have a new dog. This is Bernie. How old is Bernie?
About 5.
5 years old, never been leash trained before. So let's go ahead and test this one out. All right, Bernie, look, hi. Go ahead and stand back a little further. Bernie, hi, boy. Hi, Bernie. Hi, Bernie. Hi, Bernie. So you see how in 4 times in a row, Bernie made their same decision. Let's go ahead and switch up the tools.
Okay, Bernie.
All right, so now we just switched Bernie out to a Star Mark Pro Trainer. We're gonna assess to see if this helps at all communicate the dog not to pull against the end of the leash. So Bernie, hi boy, hi boy, hi boy, hi boy. Oh, we see a little different reaction. Hi. So the dog now is not advancing forward, okay? So this now is serving as a more effective tool to grab the dog's attention to stop pulling against the leash. Let's just proof it again, walk away, come right back. All right, let's try it, let's check it out again. Hi, Bernie. Good. Hi, Bernie. Bernie. So a training collar usually has a self-correcting component to it. Anytime the dog pulls against it, it squeezes and tightens. Anytime that the dog backs off with the collar, it releases. This naturally teaches the dog that pulling is not a good thing to do. And when they back off or stop, refrain from pulling, that it actually is a better decision for them to make. All right, so that wraps up our training collar video. I hope that you guys can find the right training tool for your specific dog. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the Canis Foundation, and me or one of the members of my team will be happy to guide you guys through it. All right, we hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.